If these players in the Buffalo Bills regress in 2021, we are absolutely all coming up on today's edition of the Bills Mafia Report. Yo ho ho, Bills Mafia. Welcome to yet another edition of the Bills Mafia Report. Pretty interesting video we have in store for you today. I just ended up getting back from the beach and I was doing some research trying to figure out what kind of video I wanted to make for you guys tonight. And I ended up coming across an article by Fanside, and I'm going to be putting that link in my description in case you guys wanted to read it over yourselves. And they ended up pointing out 4 players that they believe need to have a hell of a season, and there's no way in hell that they can regress if we expect to see the exact same or even better Buffalo Bills team than we saw in 2020. And I figure we might as well just go through those names, and then I'm gonna go on ahead and give you my reasoning behind why I agree with them, because spoiler alert, I do. And before we get into any of that, I do want to go on ahead and just give a couple of quick announcements. Number one, I am giving away either a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. I am announcing the winner on July 2nd, my 30th birthday. In order to enter this contest, all you need to do is be a subscriber to this YouTube channel, screenshot proof of that, and DM that screenshot over to me on Instagram at RealDanMitchell, and boom, you are entered into the contest, and you now have a chance of taking home a next-gen console. You might as well follow me on Instagram as well, because that's where I'm going to be exclusively announcing the winner. Pause this video and go do that shit right now. Number 2, I ended up starting my very own Discord server. It is an absolutely crazy NFL chat room. It's awesome. Bills fans, Dolphins fans, whatever team you name of, we have somebody in there talking a lot of shit. It's fun, it's chaos, and if you want to have an opportunity to call in to my live shows, Bills Mafia Live, that's gonna be the only place where you're able to call in or have an opportunity to be chosen. So go on ahead, hit that link in my description as well. Join the Discord community. I guarantee you will not regret it. So like I said, Bills Mafia, I got home, I was scrolling through some various Bills articles, and then I ended up finding this one from Fansided. I'm pretty sure the author's name was Brandon Kroos. Brandon, if you're watching this, I'm sorry if I completely butchered your last name. But like I said, he ended up putting together a list of players that really cannot regress in 2021. I mean, we need these guys at the very least playing at the exact same level as they did in 2020 if we want to make it back and even deeper than the AFC Championship. So starting off, the first one he ended up pointing out, in my opinion, was the most obvious, and that is Josh Allen. Now, when you look at Josh Allen, right, his first 2 years, I'm not going to lie to you, a lot of the time he was completely carried by our defense. Our defense was absolutely unstoppable in 2019. Amazing secondary. Pressure wasn't all that bad with Jordan Phillips really taking the reins. We had a hell of a defense, top 3 defense whatsoever. Last year, not so much. What happened was Josh Allen had to step up and actually put the Bills on his back, and he did. As we know, Josh Allen was an MVP candidate. He was absolutely smoking fools on that field left and right in 2020, really being the leader that we needed. I mean, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, could you imagine if Josh Allen didn't play the way that he did in 2020 and we had to rely on our defense to carry us through? I mean, I'm really not sure how that season would have turned out, to be honest with you, because if it wasn't for Josh Allen putting up 40 to 50 points practically every other game, I'm really not sure what would have happened. At the end of the day, in 2021, yes, we have a much easier schedule, and it looks good, in my opinion, that Josh Allen's going to be able to repeat what he did in 2020 at the absolute least. But yeah, if he regresses, which I don't believe he is going to whatsoever, that would be a death blow to the Buffalo Bills. But like I said, thankfully, our schedule is a bit easier, and who knows, maybe our defense will be back next year, baby. We don't even know. Next player on the list was Stefon Diggs. Once Stefon Diggs ended up coming into Buffalo, this guy completely changed our offense. And everyone knows that if you really want to grind my gears, look me in the eye and say, oh, the only reason Josh Allen did good was because of Stefon Diggs. First off, yourself. That's not true. But he did give him a nice little additional step. A nice new weapon for Josh Allen in 2020, and damn, did Jaboy take full advantage of that. Stefon Diggs had a career year led the league in reception yards, and was a true number one receiver, exactly what he wanted to, why he wanted to leave Minnesota. But if a player like that regresses, that's not going to be too damn good. If Stefon Diggs regresses in 2021, luckily Josh Allen, I'm pretty sure, beat the record last year for the most amount of players thrown a TD pass to. So many people talk about, oh, it's only Diggs, it's only Diggs, it's only Diggs, but Josh Allen, for the most part, really spreads the ball around the field. Now, for sure, a true number one receiver being able to get open and make plays, Stefon Diggs, that's a weapon that you want out there. I mean, it was funny because I was reading an article the other day saying that Stefon Diggs has to improvise a lot with Josh Allen. And rather than going on ahead and making a play, Josh would just go up to Stefon Diggs and be like, bro, just get open. Just get open, bro, please. And he would improvise off of that fact. So the chemistry that Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs have created in 2020, there's no doubt in my mind that this is going to translate into 2021. They both feed off of each other. If one of them regresses, they will both regress. Next up is the Snowman, Dion Dawkins. Yes, most definitely. We ended up talking more offensive weapons for the first two players, but then this article goes in and says that if Dion Dawkins were to regress, then this would be a massive issue for the Buffalo Bills. Now, when it comes to football, a left tackle is probably one of the most important positions on the offensive line. As this article most eloquently put it, it protects the quarterback's blind side. Dion Dawkins ended up finally getting the bag, much deserved. He's an amazing offensive lineman, wildly underrated, especially across the rest of the NFL. But when you look at our offensive line last year and how great they did with pass protection, we need to see the exact same thing from Dion Dawkins and company in order for us to really be able to mimic exactly what we did in 2020. Now, what would be nice is if we could work on our run blocking, but at the end of the day, as long as Dion Dawkins can go on ahead and continue to protect our damn quarterback's blind side, which he has done a fantastic job in doing so far, I also do not see regression as an even remote possibility on that end as well. Last but not least, the player that they ended up highlighting was Tre White. And last year, I know that a lot of us really weren't as excited with Tre's performance in 2020, right? I mean, dude man ended up getting the bag, and we didn't quite get an electric performance, an electric showing from the guy that we just ended up making the highest paid corner in the league, at least for a day, right before I think Jalen Ramsey ended up taking over. But I always try telling people this as well. When you're a number one corner, a lot of the times once you're established, quarterbacks, they're probably not going to pick on you as often because they know that you're an absolute stud. And then when you also look at some of the other CBs that we ended up having on the roster, whether or not that it was Levi Wallace, maybe even Taron Johnson, toward the beginning of the season, not the end, he ended up blowing up. But there was just easier targets for quarterbacks to go on ahead and sort of pick on when they knew that Tre White was guarding some of their best playmakers on these opposing teams. So from what I see, I could definitely see Tre having a bounce back year in production a bit more. I really want to see some more of those flash plays. I mean, he's one of the best cornerbacks in the entire league, and I'm hoping that we can go on ahead and continue to see him grow. As far as a regression from him, I'm really not seeing it. I think that this year was just sort of an off year, and like I said, I mean, most quarterbacks didn't even target him, but I do not see regression as a possibility when it comes to Tre White, and I'm excited to see what he's going to be doing next year. Bills Mafia, that's going to have to be it. Like I said, I'm putting that article in my description in case you wanted to read it and read their reasonings why these four players can absolutely not regress. Highly recommend checking it out. Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another edition of the Bills Mafia Report. And before I let you go, always remember, let's go Buffalo.